once again, time for Bobcat Central with Ashley Washburn. Ashley, it was a good weekend for the Bobcats at home. You and I talked about UC Davis, the challenges that they bring. Sean Chambers kind of found a way around some of those challenges, didn't he?
I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, he was just lights out, and it was great to see that. You know, I mean, he was telling us at the end of the game that he's never had the game slow down for him like the way it did on Saturday, and I think that was very apparent when he took the field, because he was just making plays and showing, you know, that he's this quarterback that, you know, teams can't stop. And I still don't think people know what his ceiling is. If this is the first time ever that the game has ever slowed down for him, you know, this is just kind of the beginning. Right.
Yeah, 200 yards in the air is a great game. 200 yards on the ground is a great game. Putting all of that together in one game is phenomenal.
Phenomenal to also be the only Bobcat to ever do it, and I believe the only second Big Sky person to ever do it. So it's not a stat line that you normally see, and you know, you're just watching him play on Saturday, and you're like, okay, he's racking up a lot of yards not only on the ground but through the air, which is something we weren't really sure about. I think that's just something we haven't seen at all this fall, is what that passing game looks like. And it wasn't just one receiver that was getting a bunch of yardage. We were seeing stuff from Robbie Alston, Willie Patterson, and Cleveland Thomas. He got his first touchdown with the Bobcats. So it was great to see all three of them involved, and you know, we're going to need to see more of that going forward, especially once we get deeper into Big Sky play.
The other side of the ball seems to be really gelling. That's something that you and I talked about. There's a lot of youth on there. There's limited number of people with a ton of experience at the Bobcat level. They have tons of experience. Seems to be gelling.
Yeah, I think so. It is very interesting listening to Vegan in the pressers, because I still don't think he's very satisfied with the secondary, and partially because I was listening to a podcast earlier today about the chunk plays that they give up. And I guess Montana State considers chunk plays 14 yards in the air, 10 yards on the ground, which doesn't seem like a lot, but they gave up 14 of those still against UC Davis. So not seeing a great number on that side, but Sebastian Valdez, I mean, the kid, not that you want him to like leave your program, but he's playing like he's a Power 5 defensive lineman. I mean, there's no way about going about that. And you know, to that demise, is we were talking to Willie Mack earlier this week getting ready for Saturday, and he was telling us about the first time he's ever seen Sebastian Valdez, and it was down in Frisco for the FCS championship. And he was actually down there just supporting Vegan and Freddie Banks, because they have those North Dakota State ties, not even knowing that he was going to eventually be working for Montana State. And he went to the hotel to go see Coach Vegan and saw Sebastian for the first time, not knowing who he was. And he told Coach Howe, the defensive line coach, and said, that's what they're supposed to look like. That's what a defensive tackle is supposed to look like. And that was before he even gained 30 pounds this fall. So, I mean, he saw from the beginning, and he has some of that Power 5 experience, and you're seeing it play out on the field, and he's still young. So he hasn't even reached his ceiling yet.
That's phenomenal. There's nothing worse. We talked about this last week. Nothing worse than playing a team that has nothing to lose. Homecoming on Saturday is really against a team that has that. Idaho State is a team that has nothing to lose, and that can be dangerous for the Cats.
Very dangerous, especially because they're also on their third string quarterback, which is, well, we're not on our third, but we are on our backup, which I wouldn't even consider Sean Chambers a backup, but they're on their third string quarterback. And that was something Vegan said on Monday, is watching that Montana game, is, you know, he has nothing to lose. I mean, your first string is hurt with a collarbone injury. Second one has a pretty severe ankle injury. And so there's really no one after him. And so he's just going out and playing football, because that's all he can do. And it was apparent on Saturday. They gave the Grizz problems. And so that's kind of what they're playing with. And Xavier Gilroy is honestly one of the best Big Sky receivers that this conference has right now. And Vegan was not shy about that, saying that's who they have to stop on Saturday. And so they're hungry. That's also something. Charlie Regal is actually one of the guys that was up for Montana State's head coaching job. So it's just kind of an interesting scenario that might play out on Saturday.
Yeah, those chunk plays that you were talking about, that you're going to want to avoid that come Saturday for sure. This is a chance to hone those skills, get it done, take care of it at home in front of your homecoming crowd. Well,
and you're hoping that Rylan Orr is making his return this week after serving a 6-game suspension that Vegan says he's owned, and he's, there was still no days off while he was waiting for his time, and that's something he's going to want to see on Saturday, is how he can help in that run game and stopping that run game. And so, which isn't really Idaho State's forte as far as an offense. I mean, they still have a pretty split run pass offense, but their passing game is what's great for them. But he's going to want to see what Rylan Orr does. I mean, he wasn't shy saying that they've missed him on the field, and that he really expects hopefully a big margin of difference on Saturday.
You looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm looking
the broadcast
very
team is back
forward
together.
to it, yes.
You got a chance to do Eastern Washington and then national broadcast last week. the team's back together, and it's homecoming for you as well.
And it's homecoming, yeah. I know that was the one thing is we get that Eastern Washington game done, and we're like, gosh, we got to wait 2 weeks again to do it. But I mean, there's just so much excitement. It's going to be another sold-out game, which all of them are this regular season. Ty and Ben are great on the part of the broadcast team. Our producers are great. And it's just going to be an insane environment in Bobcat Stadium and hopefully breaking another attendance record. They almost broke it again this last week, and they missed it by 50 fans. So 50
that was
fans,
the number,
yeah.
wow.
So we're hoping, it's going to be great weather at Bobcat Stadium. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be awesome.
There you go. 50 fans, people. That's all we need
50
in the
fans
stands on Saturday.
We need to actually get through the grounds.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it's a little easier. 2 o'clock game this time.
2 o'clock, you don't have to stay up super late. Enjoy the game, come watch some good football, and then go enjoy the homecoming festivities after.
I'm going to let you watch a really good game from the sidelines,
Yeah.
and we'll meet right back here next week for another edition of Bobcat Central.
Sounds good. See you next week.
Ashley, thank you very much. Time for a quick break. We're back with more right after this.